Hi, this is Versia Snowdy with the Meet Your Neighbor segment. April 22nd marks Earth Day for the City of Rockville Earth Month. But Chuck Woolery, a Rockville resident and a self-proclaimed extreme environmentalist, has been celebrating nature his whole life.
I thought protecting the environment was the most important thing in the world.
Rockville resident Chuck Woolery is not your average environmentalist.
And so I shifted from being, I would take my classes out, we would clean up the street, and we'd do litter cleanups, and so that, it just turned me not away from the environment, but looking at the world from a different perspective. And now it's obvious that they're combined. If you want to end poverty, have them clean up the environment and pay them. It's a real simple solution.
While living a sustainable lifestyle and leaving almost no carbon footprint, his true passion is valuing the human race in its relation to nature.
What it comes down to is our values. What do we value? And right now we don't necessarily value nature, and we don't necessarily value lives of people beyond our shores. And it's coming back to haunt us, and will continue to come back and haunt us until we get the message in life. So I always used to be concerned about overpopulation, but I learned early on that overpopulation was really a misnomer, that it wasn't there was too many people and not enough food, it was that there just wasn't the political will to end the hunger, that we had more than enough food. I had told my mom early on the first energy crisis, I hate politicians, I will never get involved in politics. And then to find out that that was the key to ending that problem. So I started getting more politically active. Not in the terms of Republican or Democrat, but just trying to influence policymakers on how to deal with the issue of hunger.
After approaching the problem from a political standpoint, a chance encounter gave Chuck the opportunity to see firsthand the problem he had been lobbying against his entire career.
When I was working with the Alliance for Child Survival, I got picked up by a taxi cab driver, and he had this little picture of children up on his dashboard. And I asked him, what's that about? Big mistake. 10 years later, I'm down in Haiti with him, building the school. I'd always worked on development and hunger and poverty issues from a conceptual, a mental perspective, but never really experienced it other than dieting as a wrestler, but starving myself as a wrestler. So I didn't really understand it from an experiential. So I used this as an opportunity to try to, number one, to learn about it from a first-hand experience, but also to make a difference. We also had a lot of resources here that we'd ship down to them, and so that was always a fun thing to do, was to fill a shipping container with stuff and get it down there, particularly after the earthquake. It was very helpful.
Although effective in practicing his global philosophies, Chuck felt it was necessary to bring his passion to a local level.
I had never ever thought about buying a house, having a house. I wanted to be kind of a nomad and roaming around, and my wife wanted a house, so I thought, okay, let's do it. And we came to Rockville, and I just liked the name Rockville. It's just it's not my rock. But my main commitment, though, was to try to have a house that represented a connection to the environment, and to have try to make it a zero footprint in terms of environmental impact. And so when I started doing the additions on the house, I wanted to make sure that we had a rooftop where we could have a roof garden. And solar, and so the roof was built with the intention of putting a lot of weight on it. And I had structural engineers to help me out with that, and so we did a pretty good job. Haven't caved in yet.
And last fall, Chuck's efforts were acknowledged by the city when he received the Environmental Excellence Award for, amongst other things, his work in eradicating invasive plants.
When I would drive down the road, I would see all this wonderful greenery on the side of the road, and then to learn that most of that, 90% of it, is invasive species. It's not really supposed to be there, and that it's actually destroying the interconnectedness of the environment as it was created, and destroying basically our biosphere, and it has impact on our water, has impact on our soil, has impact on our health. And then one day I was watching TV, and it was the Pac-10 wrestling championships, and these are college guys, or NCAA, and I'm watching them. I think, wow, I used to do that. I actually used to wrestle these guys, this weight class, that caliber. Why don't I go out and tackle the plants like that? And so I did, and suddenly it became a workout program. It was one of the best workout programs I've ever found, to go in and wrestle with these plants and take them out of the ground. And it's important to make sure you don't disturb the soil too much. But for the most part, it was now my motivation is to go into the forest and get a workout.
As an ambassador of the environment on a global and local level, Chuck has a surprisingly simple philosophy.
Our bodies were created in the context of a nature In other words, nature engineered our bodies to be a certain way, to live a certain way. And one of the key factors in that is to be active, to be actually moving around, doing stuff a lot, and to learn things. If you don't learn things and be aware of your environment, you got eaten. And so if young people find out that they're unhappy, they know they're missing something. They just don't know what it is. I'm going to suggest to get involved with nature, to get involved with another group of people who are making a difference, that you'll probably find an answer there.